Hello and welcome to this week's vlog update. I have got a fair bit to report this week, I suppose as is often the case, but the really big news is that in 2 days on the solstice, I will be releasing the fifth and final DIY music video, a lyric video for I Reach, which is of course the final track on my EP. And like the others, this one is, well, like most of the others, this one is based on a CGI template, this time of nature scenes that I just instantly fell in love with when I first had a look at the template offerings. So very excited to be putting this one out as the final one. I think it's really fitting also that it's happening on the solstice because it's a song about learning and growing and progressing and cycles, the opening and closing, the flux in and flux out of life, which is very solsticey, of course. So at 7:13 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, it will be going live on my YouTube channel here, so hopefully you will enjoy it if you end up checking it out. It was certainly really fun to make, very fiddly though, so as per the previous ones, the text in these templates is set to appear at specific times in the scene that aren't adjustable. So I had to try to do my best to put the words in where they would appear given the template timing, and some scenes worked a bit better than others. There's one scene in particular that the text won't appear until like 5 or so seconds into the scene, at which point the line is nearly done. So yeah, it was a bit fiddly, but hopefully it's not too distracting when that happens. And overall though, I'm absolutely loving it. I spent a lot of time creating all of these DIY clips actually, and so it's wonderful to finally have them all out, completing the set, and it'll be my last, I would imagine, for a while. I'm working on a number of new songs, as I mentioned in last week's update, including with one of the Australian Songwriters Conference facilitators, Ben. We are meeting up tomorrow morning actually to talk some more about that, so very exciting stuff. And then of course there's also my own independent songs that I've been working on, such as Midday Blue, which I am hoping to get some critique and feedback on tomorrow evening? Yes, at the next song critique night. So that will be very fun and interesting, and I'm sure hugely useful also. But before I move on to other news, I also wanted to, I almost forgot to actually mention on my socials last week or earlier this week, I can't remember. I mean, it's Sunday, so tomato, tomato, right? I posted some preliminary artwork that I had created for I Reach last year when I was first starting to plan its release. And its artwork, like all of the artwork for the album, has been based on old pencil sketches of mine from over the years. And I actually dug up just today the old pencil sketch. If I can manage to get it visible here with this glare from the window coming in. This is the original artwork that, the I Reach I Reach artwork is based on, my little old sketchbook here. So it's really cool to be able to draw back on pieces that I've worked on over the years. That one and a whole heap of others. It's pretty amazing to be able to go back and try to match up who I was then with what I'm producing now. It's really cool. But anyway, so I mentioned previously that I have accepted a volunteer role to coordinate the Melbourne circle for the Australian Songwriters Conference starting at the end of this month, essentially. So very excited to be stepping into that and getting more involved. And my first circle for Melbourne that I will be hosting is with the wonderful, brilliant Emily Sion, who has kindly agreed to talk about writing beautiful melodies for voice and instruments. We've sort of been exploring ideas and topics to cover in the webinar, and Em's really keen to not just limit it to vocals, but also sound in general, what goes into making a beautiful melody in a particular context with a specific instrument. We'll mainly be focusing on the voice because it is a songwriter's webinar, but also just in general, what are some rules about writing melodies and how can you break them to best effect, right? So that is going to be an amazing webinar. I'm very excited about that. So Sunday, August 7th. And I've also confirmed that Nick Albanus from Dandelion Wine will be covering the next month's speaker duties. We're still trying to nut out specifically what he'll be talking about, but he will be September's speaker, so I'm very, very excited about that. And so it's all coming together. But even before all of that, next month, before I host my first Melbourne Circle, I've actually been invited to do a little presentation and speak at the Sydney Circle event for July. So the next few months, there's not really going to be any break, any gap, because before I start my Melbourne coordination duties, I'll be guest speaking for the Sydney meetup. So Sydney catch up, whatever we call them. Circles, that's right, circles. Well, I've started putting together some draft slides for that, and I'm hoping to flesh them out a bit more this week and then send those through to my co-presenters for that. And hopefully that will help everybody prepare and make sure we're all on the same cards for, all on the same cards. Is that even a thing? All on the same page. All on the same page, Jen. It will help us make sure we're all on the same page for the July Circle for Sydney. So a lot of stuff happening, and I'm very excited as always to be able to be doing all of this. It's pretty amazing. And guess I'd better get to it, eh? I'll see you next time.